morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is English Bulletin with me, Yutsa Bhadrai. The top stories first. Speaker of the dissolved Parliament says constitutional hearings cannot take place, argues that the recommendations are currently sub judice in Supreme Court. NCP leader Dahal accuses Prime Minister of collaborating with former King's supporters, claims that the Prime Minister is acting on the instruction of foreign elements. 13 sister wings of Nepali Congress to organize mass protest today. Demonstration will be held in all 77 districts. Myanmar's top leader Suu Kyi detained. Tensions between civilian government and military escalating. And Messi scores 650th goal for Barca. Salah doubles help Liverpool to climb third in Premier League. And now the news in detail. Speaker of the dissolved House of Representatives Agni Sapkota has returned back the letter sent by the Constitutional Council requesting for his presence during constitutional hearings. Sapkota wrote a letter to the Chief Secretary and the Constitutional Council's Secretary yesterday, stating that the proposed hearings cannot take place in the present context. The Constitutional Council had called for hearings to appoint commissioners at the anti-graft body in a decision taken on December 15. Similarly, it had written a letter to the concerned government bodies on December 18 to conduct hearings at the Parliament Secretariat. However, the Law House was dissolved 2 days later and the Hearings Committee became non-functional. If the hearings cannot take place within 45 days after the recommendation of the Council, the office bearers will be appointed automatically without any hearing. Former Speaker Sapkota also sent a copy of his letter to opposition party leader Sher Bahadur Tioba. He stated several reasons for returning the original letter of the Council. In his reply, Sapkota said that there is no possibility to conduct the hearings as the Law House has been dissolved. Sapkota also argued that recommendations made by the Constitutional Council is currently sub judice in the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, Chairman of Nepal Communist Party Dahal Nepal faction Pushpa Kamal Dahal has accused Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of dissolving the Law House in collusion with supporters of monarchy and those who want to revive the King's rule in the country. Addressing the second Central Committee meeting of All Nepal Peasant Federation yesterday, leader Dahal alleged the Prime Minister of joining hands with former dictators and King's supporters to dissolve the House of Representatives. Leader Dahal added that Prime Minister has been functioning on the instructions of external element, which is an attack on Nepal's political achievement.
अहिले केपी ओलीको निरंकुशताका विरुद्ध, उनको स्वेच्छाचारिता र अराजकताका विरुद्ध, उनको कम्युनिस्ट आन्दोलनलाई नै धाराशायी पार्ने प्रतिक्रान्तिकारीहरूसँग मिलेर आफ्नै साथीहरू, आफ्नै सहयात्रीहरूमाथि छुरा प्रहार गर्ने जो काम उनले गरेका छन्, तपाईं हाम्रो सबैको मुटुमा छुरा प्रहार गरे जस्तो हो। अहिले पार्टी विभाजन गर्नु, अहिले संविधानमाथि प्रहार गर्नु, जनप्रतिनिधि संस्था सार्वभौम अधिकारको उपयोग गर्ने नेपाली जनताले त्यो प्रतिनिधि सभा भङ्ग गर्नु, यो सबै नेपाली जनताको मुटुमा छुरा हाने जस्तै हो।
Leader Dahal also pointed out that protests and demonstrations are crucial to protect the political achievements of the country. Another leader, Madhav Kumar Nepal, alleged Prime Minister Oli of using all his force to attract NCP leaders and cadres in his faction. Leader Dahal and Nepal requested all the agronomists and farmers to lend them support and get involved in protest organized by their team. A total of 13 sister wings of Nepali Congress are preparing to hold mass protest against the government's decision to dissolve the House of Representatives. Nepal Women's Association, Nepal Tarun Dal and Nepal Students' Union organized a joint press meet yesterday to inform that they will organize a mass protest today against the government's unconstitutional move. The organisers informed that all 13 sister wings of the main opposition party will hold mass protests in all 77 districts simultaneously. The opposition party also accused the government of indulging in excessive corruption and disregarding issues related to public welfare. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Active cases of coronavirus in the country has dropped to 2,594 from the overnight tally of 2,779. The government yesterday confirmed 105 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 270,959. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 266,336 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. Meanwhile, coronavirus claimed 2 more lives in the country, taking the death toll to 2,029. Nepal is currently among the top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The US tops the list with 26.76 million confirmed cases, followed by India with 10.75 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 103.5 million people across the world and claimed over 2.23 million lives. And now the news from economic front. The Federation of Nepalese Chambers of Commerce and Industry have decided to prioritize planned urban development programs, expanding the Urban Development Committee under the chairmanship of Executive Committee member Meenman Shrestha. President of FNCCI Shekhar Golcha informed that planned urban development would be the ultimate objective of the committee. FNCCI President Golcha stressed on building policies to meet the objective. Similarly, Golcha said FNCCI is hopeful that the committee will thrive for result-oriented works. Former Secretary of Nepal Government Purna Kadaria and Chairman of Federation of Contractors Association of Nepal Ravi Singh have also been appointed as the Vice Chairperson of the committee. Similarly, former Chairman of Nepal Engineers Association Engineer Dhruva Thapa, former Chairman of Society of Nepalese Architect Swarup Kone, first Vice President of Nepal Land and Residents Development Association Bidur Thamala, including others, have been appointed as the members of the Urban Committee. We'll be taking a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international and sports news. Welcome back, and now the international news. Myanmar's top leader Aung San Suu Kyi, including other senior officials from the country's ruling party, have been detained, BBC reported. Suu Kyi and others from the governing National League for Democracy party have been arrested in an early morning raid, BBC cited party spokesman as saying. The move comes amid tensions between the civilian government and the powerful military, mounting to a fear of coup. At elections last November, the National League Party won enough seats to form the government, but the military claims the vote as fraudulent. I want to tell our people not to respond rashly, and I want them to act according to the law, Reuters quoted NLD spokesperson Myo Nyan from their telephone conversation. Nobel Peace Prize winner Suu Kyi, 75, came to power after a 2015 landslide election win that followed decades of house arrest in a struggle for democracy that turned her into an international icon. Telephone and internet lines in capital Naypyidaw have been cut, the BBC's Burmese service reported. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Lionel Messi scored his 650th goal for Barcelona with a wonderful free kick as the Catalans beat Atletico Bilbao to move up to second in La Liga. According to BBC, Athletic had a 5-man wall, a player lying behind the wall and another on the line, but Messi still managed to curl the ball into the top corner. It was his 49th free kick goal for the club, BBC stated. Athletic were level when Jordi Alba turned a cross into his own net, but Antonio Griezmann slammed in the winner from Oscar Minguia's pass. Barcelona move above Real Madrid on goal difference, but the rivals both sit 10 points behind Atletico Madrid, who have a game in hand on both sides, and after defeating Cadiz earlier in the day. Meanwhile, Mohamed Salah scored for the first time in 7 Premier League games with a brilliant double at West Ham United to help Liverpool move to third in the table. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Speaker of the dissolved Parliament says constitutional hearings cannot take place, argues that the recommendations are currently subjudiced in Supreme Court. NCP leader Dahal accuses Prime Minister of collaborating with former King's supporters, claims that the Prime Minister is acting on the instructions of foreign elements. 13 sister wings of Nepali Congress to organize mass protests today. Demonstrations will be held in all 77 districts. Myanmar's top leader Suu Kyi detained. Tensions between civilian government and military escalating. And Messi scores 650th goal for Barca. Salah double helps Liverpool to climb third in Premier League. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.